Good morning. I want to show you how the drawing is going. I didn't record a lot of the process because I was like figuring it out, and like having the camera on me while I draw makes me extra nervous, like I feel watched. So I just need to figure out my technique for this drawing before actually like recording more. So today I'm going to try to record a lot more of the process, but here is how it's going. So I've pretty much just shaded. I haven't done any details yet, and that's what we have so far. Right now I'm gonna make myself some matcha because I have no fucking coffee. I always like to start my drawing days with a clean, fresh setup, so that's what we're doing right now. I am reorganizing everything from the day before. Okay, so now I am just going to talk you through pretty much what I'm doing. And for me, the best way to add very dark shadows like this is with a hard, short-haired brush. This allows me to be more precise and not have the charcoal go everywhere while pressing down the charcoal hard onto the paper, hence creating the darkest black. I literally move my hands as if I were drawing little hair strands, so some areas are a little darker than others, and this creates more depth in just the first layer. Here I am erasing the whiskers so that I remember where they are and I don't lose them in between all of the layering that will be going down later. For the lightest areas, I use a small beauty blender and do the same motion that I did with the hard brush so that I again create some depth within my first layer. And then it's just a lot of repeating and being very patient. And if you're not feeling patient, go for a walk, eat a snack, do something, walk away from the paper, and then come back because it will show up. I promise you. Here I am using an angular brush, which is a little softer, but it's not super soft or hard, to fill in the area under the nose. Using an angular brush helps to get smoother, longer lines. It is now the next day and I definitely need some coffee. It is super gloomy and rainy today, which doesn't help my energy levels. I cannot wait until the sun starts coming out again. By this point, we have been living in this apartment for 2 months, and out of those 2 months, 1.5 months have literally been gloomy and rainy. So I just really can't wait for like spring and summer. I guess this could be considered a second layer, so here I am going over with a hard brush and gently creating some definition in between the strands of hair in the lighter areas. So I am just lightly tapping on the paper because I don't want it to get too dark, but I also still want it to show up. That's why we use a hard brush. Okay, now just so that I don't get confused later, I am shading in very lightly the areas that are going to be black so that I can go over them later without messing up. And this is what it's looking like without having added any highlights yet. So this means that we haven't used any types of erasers yet. And now we're going to start the eye. It took me like an hour and a half for just the first layer, and it honestly ended up looking kinda bad, but that's okay. We're gonna go in later and add a lot more detail. The reference photo doesn't really have a lot of detail in the eye, but I really do want to make that a focal point, so I will be adding a lot more detail, which just means that I'm going to have to either use another reference photo or just add whatever detail I feel like adding. And that is it. That is all we have done today. And I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.